This is Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. It's March 5th, 2018.
When true lyricism used to get respect, when an artist didn't have to sell their soul to get a check. Real music is dead, now it's time to resurrect. I reflect on the past and there's nothing I regret. We came a long way from spitting freestyles in the hallway. Got home from class bumping classic albums all day, writing rhymes that could change the world and enlighten minds. Started with a nice design, now we got the light to shine. Remember when that Nas dropped? Bumped the album non-stop, every day, all summer. Copped it from the mom pops. Nowadays we're taking people back into the essence, when the lyrics had a meaning and the music had a message. When the MC wasn't hating our women and gun killing our brothers before they filled up the prisons from drug dealing. Rocked the stage and left the people feeling real positive. Y'all doing what's popular, we probably do the opposite. Y'all be in them skinny jeans, we be in the baggy sweats. Crowd always show us support, you like saggy breasts. A couple savvy veterans made it through the wilderness into the promised land, and we'll never forget the pilgrimage. Reflect when true lyricism used to get respect, when an artist didn't have to sell their soul to get a check. Real music is dead, now it's time to resurrect. I reflect on the past and there's nothing I regret.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? April 5th, 2018. It is Thursday. I hope everybody had a good day today. I had a good day today. I got a lot of stuff accomplished while I was at work. I got to come home. I get to talk to y'all about sports. We're going to talk Shohei Ohtani today. Conor McGregor is at it again with a whole bunch of drama. Wrestlemania 34 is this Sunday on April 8th. It's going to be a fun show. It's just going to be a fun show. I'm in good spirits today. I hope you're in good spirits today. That track you heard as we opened the show was The Barbarians, local lyricists here out of Denver, Colorado, with Reflect was the title of that track. The Barbarians are the official music of Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. And for those of you who might be tuning in for the first time, definitely check us out on the website, www.realdealsportstalkwithkp.com. We also have the text line. You can get at us on the text line anytime you want, 720-515-5597. And of course, you can always reach out through email at rdst.wkp@gmail.com. Website's got a couple ways for you to get a hold of us on there. We got our blogs there every Tuesday, pictures of events that we've been to. Check out our partners that have been on the show, the Barbarians, Marcus Ogden. We're going to get some Vance Johnson info up there shortly. And then, of course, big things that we like to try and help people on this show. We want to reach as many people as we can that are feeling downtrodden, depressed, anxious, abused, addicted, the mentally ill, whoever you are. We want to reach out. We want to create a place where you can feel safe and find help. So right now we've kind of started that. We have a Get Help page. It has the National Sexual Assault Hotline. It has the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It has the National Addiction Hotline. We're going to put up a comment board so people can, talk to each other. It's all about love. We have a quote on the website by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We are all special. We are all great. If you need help, reach out. KP at Real Deal Sports Talk, I'm here for you. There's always somebody willing to talk. There's always somebody willing to listen. Get the help you need. One love, one respect. All right, let's get on to the show. We're going to talk sports. That brought us down a little bit, a little serious. Let's bring it back up. We're going to start the show off with WrestleMania 34. The WWE is putting on their 34th annual WrestleMania event. This is the big culminating event for the WWE each and every year. And the folks over at ESPN have done us all a favor. Those of us who are older now that, don't want to admit that we watch the WWE or follow the WWE, but grew up in the heyday, grew up when it was what made it what it was in the 80s, in the early 90s. So the folks over at ESPN, they've done us all a solid. They went ahead and made us a cheat sheet. So before we get into all of my WrestleMania memories, my favorite ones, and some of the history of what WrestleMania is, we'll go ahead and we'll start with this cheat sheet that ESPN made. You can check it out on their site. And we'll talk about who is competing in this event. I'm not going to use any of their notes. I will just use it for a cheat sheet. I'm going to talk about each match from the way I see it, based on some of the limited times I've watched the SmackDown and Raw. I think I watch it twice a month. I have it on Hulu. So every now and then, if I got some free time, I'll kick it on. I'll see what's going on with the two brands as they have it now. And there's some good stuff. There's some stuff that just doesn't match up to what the company was or where they were, in my opinion. And again, now I'm an adult as opposed to a kid and an adolescent watching this stuff. So I'm seeing it through a very different lens. I understand that. And I still like it, don't get me wrong. I have the argument with people all the time about WWE and how, it's legit. I like it. It's good. It's got athletes, what this guy is, that guy is, kind of what the storylines are, how the writers and the creative team are making, this and that happen. And just kind of educating through the process and enjoying it for what it is, sports entertainment. And at Real Deal Sports Talk with KP, sports entertainment falls into what we talk about. So the big match of the night is going to be this Universal Championship match with Brock Lesnar, who is the champion, versus Roman Reigns. Okay, Roman Reigns is from the long lineage throughout, the WWE and the current roster. A lot of family members. Dwayne Johnson, I believe, is a family member of The Rock. Brock Lesnar, we'll talk a little bit about later in the show in the UFC section. And, nice smooth transition when we get there. But he's the champion. All the rumors are he's getting ready to make another leap back to the UFC from the WWE. So more than likely, the way this has been played out, it's kind of Roman Reigns who the company is pushing. And he's had this title here, he's had that title there, and now it's kind of his time to take over this Universal Championship, which for some reason has become bigger than the WWE Heavyweight title. It seems like, anyway. But as you watch the message boards and you watch the chatter, everybody is expecting Roman Reigns to win this title. Because of this transition Brock Lesnar is about to make, presumably back to the UFC. Now, from what I've seen watching over the years is that Brock Lesnar came on as a beast. He was unstoppable. He was a great character. Then he made that first transition over to the UFC. Didn't go so well. He ended up having the health scares and made the transition back to the WWE again. At that point, it seems like he became this superstar extra persona who didn't really show up on the televised shows, got to pick and choose even which pay-per-views he attended, and I'm disinterested in him as a character, honestly. I'd rather see him just fight in the UFC at this point, which we'll talk about later. Roman Reigns, he's the next heavyweight guy who is, the guy they want to put this energy behind, and they have been for a while now. I think something's going to happen in this match. Roman Reigns will probably come close to losing a couple times, miraculously come back a couple times. Paul Heyman might even turn heel in this match and help Roman Reigns win. Something along those lines I could see happening. But I would say Roman Reigns, more likely than not, ends WrestleMania 34 as the champion in some shocking turn of events. And Brock Lesnar then takes, his leave of absence to make this transition. WWE Championship, okay, not the heavyweight title, the WWE Championship, excuse me. I was reading boxing stories right before we got on today. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Okay, I like both of these guys. Shinsuke is a very unique character. He's got to be hard to play and stay in that character all the time. AJ Styles is a guy who's definitely paid his dues. He's been in just about every promotion that I know of. And it's two athletic guys who are good performers who, Shinsuke, his background is from mixed martial arts. So he has some other aspects to his game, too, other than just being a little weird. He kind of plays this, I don't even know how to describe it. If you haven't ever seen Shinsuke Nakamura, check him out online. Very unique, interesting character. At times, very funny to watch with the way he riles or tries to rile guys up. This match, a lot of people think it's now, again, this is Shinsuke's time to have a title. He's done some great things since he came into the WWE as far as performance-wise. They've given him some shots to beat some of the bigger names and be in some of these bigger matches. So it kind of feels like, okay, now it's his time. But I really think AJ Styles comes out of this match as still the champion. I think what they're doing with him on the SmackDown brand, they need to kind of have him be the title holder for a while. Now, maybe this becomes some kind of a rivalry, but I would expect AJ Styles to carry this one out. Ronda Rousey, she's making her debut as a WWE personality with Kurt Angle, former Olympian, as her partner versus the administration of the company and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. You can't see this match going any other way than Rousey winning. They're into her for millions. They're pushing this startup date, I think, sooner than it needed to be based on what I've seen the past few Raws as far as her persona in ring. The physicalness is probably all there. She'll probably pick that stuff up fast, just like a Ken Shamrock did and some of these other lesser-known MMA people who have crossed over into wrestling. Kurt Angle's a great person to have in her corner for this match because he is a guy who came from wrestling into WWE wrestling sports entertainment and was able to make that transition and build that character. I fully believe the WWE is behind Ronda Rousey. They want not only for her to be successful, but for her to make them money. So I would expect, again, something crazy is going to happen in this match. It's going to be the moment, and Rousey will somehow, pin Triple H or do something to Stephanie McMahon. Something's going to happen. Kurt Angle will probably be down on, outside the ring somewhere. It's going to be fun and entertaining. This is, in my opinion, from the lineups that I was looking at, one of the better lineups they've had in a while. They've been floating this idea that The Undertaker and John Cena are going to have a match. No response from The Undertaker. Cena talking all kinds of smack in the ring. It seems like this is a duh, it's going to happen. Maybe it doesn't. And again, who wins this one? Probably The Undertaker, because the WrestleMania is The Undertaker's show. It is his event. He never should have lost to Brock Lesnar a few years back to end his streak. Especially not to Brock Lesnar as a character. I don't know him as a person. I'm not judging him as a person. I judge him as a sports entertainer. Or talk about him, or dissect him, or whatever you want to say. That's what's happening. So I would expect The Undertaker to win. John Cena's become the veteran, just like the Big Show, who is used to, as much as they want to say keep characters down, they're really used to build characters up, because name one of these guys that they haven't been pushing recently that they haven't had him lose to or wrestle. I mean, so that could be a fun match. It's going to be, the most interesting part is probably going to be how it goes down. How it starts, when Undertaker shows up, how he shows up, what Cena's doing at the time, since he says he's buying a ticket and going to go as a fan. Much anticipated women's title SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair, who we've talked about on the show recently, and Asuka, who has never lost in the WWE. Charlotte Flair is the current title holder. I personally would like to see Flair keep the title and Asuka get that first loss. I think that would be a great way for this match to go. Have it be a long match. Have it be one of the marquee matches of the show, because these women have been stealing the show recently if you've been watching WWE events. And I really like the character Charlotte Flair has built for herself in her father's name. I like the character Asuka has built for herself. She is another entertaining, good sports entertainment wrestler. So I would like to see Flair carry it on. I would like to see these two have a true rivalry, I guess, and really push this for a while until Asuka's been up on the brand, on the show for a while, and then somehow she gets it. Now, an idea that I heard today that kind of was interesting, and I'm not sure where, I can't remember where I heard it now. I think I was reading it. I don't remember where I heard this now, but this was not my original idea, was that Carmella is going to cash in her Money in the Bank, and she will be champion at the end of all this. Who knows? That's why you watch. If you like it, you watch. If you don't, you don't. Daniel Bryan and, again, Shane McMahon. So the admin, they're taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who are bucking against the company and causing all of this trouble. This match is ridiculous to me. I'm glad Daniel Bryan's been cleared and his health is good and he can return to what he loves. That's awesome. I don't care who wins that match, if that's okay. I don't really like the characters they've developed for Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. So who cares? International or Intercontinental Championship match. The Miz, the champion, versus Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. This could be the best match of the night, depending on how they have it set up. And I very well could see any of them leaving with the title and having a good storyline to do so. More than likely, The Miz just had a baby. He might be taking a little bit of time off to spend some time with his wife, Maurice, and the baby. More than likely, Finn Balor and or Seth Rollins walks out of this with the title. If I had to pick, I would say they might push the title with Seth Rollins' way. But Finn Balor is due for a title after he lost the Universal title to that shoulder injury a while back. Raw Women's Championship also up. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. They've made this about a bullying thing, which is ridiculous to me right now. You're spreading bullying. You're promoting bullying. So I would expect that the only outcome from this match, because of what you've allowed Alexa Bliss to do creatively, is Nia Jax to smash her like a bug, win the title, hold the title for some time, and then she'll probably give it up to somebody else on the Raw women's roster. But if you're going to promote and allow this bullying routine that Alexa Bliss has been doing over the last few weeks, and then have Nia Jax also act as if it's hurting her feelings and deal with body image and these types of things, the only outcome you can do as a company is then to let that person squash the bully. That's the responsible and the message that should come out of that. Moving on. United States Championship. Randy Orton, the champion, versus Jinder Mahal versus Bobby Roode versus Rusev. 4-way match. They couldn't figure out what to do with the United States Championship. Randy Orton is kind of being used a little bit as that veteran guy who is in matches but is now losing matches that normally wouldn't have had him lose. Bobby Roode, he's been around for a couple promotions. Now was a title holder, now is not a title holder. A lot of people think Rusev takes this one. Jinder Mahal, he's had his title chances. I think Randy Orton leaves with the title, so he probably doesn't. Raw Tag Team Championships. Let me say, I don't like this two brand thing, the SmackDown and then the Raw brand. I preferred it back when. Throw that out there. Back when there was just one brand, different shows. They were able to mix guys in, create rivalries, and more storylines that made sense and weren't this same guy. Just, we're going to put that out there. But, all right, Raw Tag Team Championships. The Bar versus Braun Strowman and somebody else. He's got to pick somebody. Currently, you can't win the tag team titles by yourself. He hasn't had a partner. They've been doing this gimmick with him. As strong and as bad and as monstrous as they want to make him, they need to give him a title shot and they need to let him win a title, period. So I'm going to say Braun Strowman and somebody walk out of here as the tag champions, maybe even Big Show or somebody like that. Undertaker, who knows. SmackDown Tag Team Championship. This is a three-way between the Usos, who are the champions, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. As far as the characters, I'll go with the Usos to retain their title. Moving on. Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. I'll take Mustafa Ali in that match, because why not? Then there's also going to be a Women's Battle Royal and the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Whew, that's a lot of matches. That's a lot of WWE. That's a lot of WrestleMania 34. Now again, like I said, I go back. I go back to the early WrestleManias, not to the first WrestleManias. I was a little too young for those, although I have seen them, and I do enjoy some of the matches, watching some of the older guys. I think the sweet spot for me was probably WrestleMania 3 through WrestleMania 12, maybe 13, right around in there. Because by then, I just had different interests, different things going on. But WrestleMania 3, that's Hogan and Giant. That's when Giant passed the torch to Hogan and the world went crazy. That was one of my most favorite ones to watch because that was just great as a kid. WrestleMania 6 was great when the Ultimate Warrior, who was the Intercontinental Champion, took on Hulk Hogan as the WWF Champion. Great match. They were starting to push the Warrior more. The Warrior won, walked away with both titles. The next year, Sergeant Slaughter, this is in the midst of Desert Storm. He was acting like a traitor. He took on Hogan for the title. That was great. 8 was good. Ric Flair and Randy Savage. Ric Flair ended up leaving, going back to the WCW after that match, I believe. The next year, Bret Hart lost the title to Yokozuna. Then Yokozuna turned around somehow in a match that wasn't even supposed to happen and lost it to Hogan, so he had the title back. Lawrence Taylor showed up in WrestleMania 11. There was the 60-minute Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels in WrestleMania 12. Those two put on a show there. And then after that, I didn't watch them a lot. I kind of heard about what was going on, and through college, sometimes you would hear stories of other people, and you check in and see. But until recently, I didn't really get back into it, and I got back into it because of following Ric Flair on social media. And there have been all kinds, like I said, Brock Lesnar. When was that WrestleMania where he beat the Undertaker? That was, I believe, WrestleMania. I don't know. I have no idea. Somewhere between 25 and now. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, whatever that one was a big disappointment to hear about and read about. The Undertaker Shawn Michaels match a few years ago, where they did the good versus the bad, and the white cowboy and the black cowboy, and that was a little corny. What other matches do they have on here? I haven't seen the Kurt Angle Brock Lesnar match from WrestleMania 19, but that one might have been, pretty entertaining. The Rock Stone Cold match from WrestleMania 17, I know was pretty good. But yeah, man, WrestleMania as a kid, that was always one of the faves. Royal Rumble I always liked. I always liked SummerSlam. Survivor Series, whatever, I could take it or leave it. But WrestleMania 34 this weekend, Sunday night, check it out. It should be good. Now, moving on. Let's get done with that. That was a long segment on wrestling. We're going to go into UFC news. Conor McGregor. I'm sure everybody has seen this story today. He's at the Barclays Center. Him and his buddies rush in, get into this place. People let him in. They get up into the area where the bus is taking off, or the fighters are getting onto the bus. They go crazy, start throwing stuff. They're breaking windows on the bus. Michael Chisa, he was cut up, cut on his head, cut on his face. Rose Namajunas, sorry if I butchered your name. She was upset and walked home from where they were at the Barclays Center, and she almost broke her hand. Other employees did break their hand or their knuckle. And you got a guy in Conor McGregor who has held a title for 500 days without defending it because he had to go fight Floyd Mayweather. He had to get into it with the Irish mob. He's now doing another let's taunt each other with Floyd Mayweather to do a MMA fight. They're talking about stripping his title. He's calling him profanity, and you're not stripping me of nothing. There's a warrant out for his arrest now because of this nonsense. He can't get on his plane. He can't fly back to Ireland. He can't leave the state of New York. And it went from this week, Dana White saying Conor McGregor will fight in 2018, to all of a sudden the next thing we know is this nonsense going on. And the first thing I thought was, hey, just like we just talked about, this is some WWE stuff. They are now trying to build up the bad boy image of Conor McGregor because there's a fight coming that he is going to be a part of. And maybe it's one of the guys that was on that bus or getting on that bus. Maybe it wasn't. But this has that kind of feel like it's written drama. I haven't seen pictures of Michael Chiesa with cuts, just heard about it. Dana White's the one who's told everybody there's a warrant out. TMZ first reported the event. And honestly, I'm kind of sick of the act right now. I enjoyed seeing him be dominant in the octagon. That was fine. Now all this extra nonsense, this persona stuff, I don't need it. I don't want it. Bleh. I'm done with it. I'm just done. Kind of like I'm done with Brock Lesnar. Now he's making the switch back. Dana White says yes. I'm not going to say when he's coming back, but he is coming back to the UFC. And to me, the first thing I say is, does it matter? What is the heavyweight division doing right now? What did Brock Lesnar ever really do in the heavyweight division? It hasn't been great for a long time. They brought in guys who had some great careers somewhere else, like Alistair Overeem, who had nothing left because he was done taking, steroids or whatever he was doing when he got busted for performance enhancers. The Mark Hunt thing, Lesnar tested positive for performance enhancers. So I'm like, okay, he comes back. A whole bunch of people that are WWE fans and UFC fans, which we've talked about before, how these two companies should cross-promotion each other somehow. the CM Punk, the Ronda Rousey, the Brock Lesnar, Ken Shamrocks, and Severin crossed over. Hank Abbott. Different people have done it, even female wrestlers and fighters. But again, I go back to, does it matter that he's coming back? Probably not. Who I want to see come back, and who I told you guys to look out for, and this is a team to watch, Shohei Ohtani. I hope I'm saying that right because I've been practicing it. Shohei Ohtani. The Angels pitcher. This kid who's come over. He hits. He pitches. Angels are 5-2 right now. Yes, it's early in the season. Yes, it's exciting. But that's what you need at this point in the baseball season, is something to get excited about. And this kid right now, he's it. He's fun to watch. They're letting him DH. He's a starting pitcher. He's tied for the team lead in wins. He's tied for the team lead in home runs and RBIs with Mike Trout. In his first 7 games, he has 2 home runs and a game 1 pitching. The only other player to do that is Babe Ruth. And for him to reach those same marks of 2 home runs and a win as a pitcher, it took him 17 games in 1919. So that doesn't mean Shohei is going to go on to be Babe Ruth. What it means is it's an exciting story, and it's something to watch, and they're a team to watch because of it. They have the best player in the game, Mike Trout, in my opinion. They have this kid, Shohei Ohtani. It's fun to watch. They still have Albert Pujols. So check out the Angels. It's a great story. I'm going to continue to watch them. I told you guys this was a team to watch before the season started. They're playing very well right now. It doesn't mean that this is going to continue for the entire season, but it's fun to watch. It's good baseball. I wish more pitchers could hit. I don't care if you let them DH. I don't care if you put them in the lineup. But I would like it if we had more players like a Shohei Ohtani. More pitchers who could get out there and do it. Like a Kyle Freeland. Can swing the bat a little bit for the Colorado Rockies. There's been some other pitcher, Mike Hampton, had a knack for hitting home runs back in the day. There have been pitchers that could swing the bat. I'm glad this kid is here. I'm going to watch him, watch the Angels. They're a team I said to watch. All right, so WrestleMania 34, a little bit of the histories of WrestleMania and some of the, matches that I liked back then, the top matches that were there. I remember Mr. T fighting Rowdy Piper. I remember Cyndi Lauper and Captain Lou, the Nasty Boys and Earthquake. And that was just the glory days to me. I loved that time of my childhood. Randy Savage and Ted DiBiase and Sid Justice. Just a good time. It's sports entertainment. You don't have to be so serious about it. Give the athletes their respect. It is hard to take those bumps. They do get serious injuries. It truly is not something you should do at home without proper training. But there is some scripted nature to it. There is storylines to it. And this week has some of the better storylines, in my opinion, of recent WrestleManias, especially on the women's side, especially with a Charlotte Flair and Asuka, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. The women's battle royal is going to be good. So tune in, go get it, go watch it. If you want to watch Brock Lesnar when he switches back to UFC, go ahead, do that too. Expect McGregor to more than likely fight before the calendar year is over. Check out the Angels. Tonight, I'm going to the Nuggets game. The playoff race is tight. Right now, the Nuggets are 1 game back of the 8th seed. They're 2 games out of the 4th seed. If you look at the Western Conference seedings right now, only the first 3 teams are in, and those are pretty much set with Houston, Golden State, and Portland. Those they can't switch in any way there with 5 or 6 games left on the season for each of these teams. But teams 4 through 8, you could see a lot of movement in the next few days. Nuggets, like I said, they're 1 game out of the 8th seed. They're 2 games out of the 4th seed. All kinds of stuff's going to happen in the Western Conference. I'm glad I get to go check out this game. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. All 8 teams in the Eastern Conference are in. There could be a little bit of shakeup. Excuse me. A little bit of shakeup, 5 through 8. The Pacers, Heat, Wizards, and Bucks. You could see some movement and seeding there. The first 4 seeds, 1 and 2 are pretty much set. Boston losing Kyrie Irving today for the season throughout the playoffs. That hurts Boston quite a bit, in my opinion. They very well could lose in the first round without him or Gordon Hayward available, and he's been out all year. It's going to be tough for that offense that has problems generating a lot of points to really play. Hopefully the game slows down enough and Coach Brad Stevens can do enough to keep them going, because I was really kind of hoping to see the Celtics and Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Philadelphia and Cleveland, they currently have the same record at 3-4. Cleveland with the tiebreaker. So you could see some movement between those 2 teams in the next couple games. But I'm excited to go to the game tonight. Me and my buddy Leaf Thomas, we're going to go check it out. And you know how we do. Until next time, just keep it real.
Brandon, the damn rambling amateur. I ain't a fan of his, motherfucker faker than mannequins. That dude Kellen be acting harder than city felons, but he really jealous and niggas song for the Cinderella. Hating that nigga. Wow, alright. Damn, I wonder what niggas to stop hating. I guess it's been ingrained since Cain dropped Abel. It's not a fable, these niggas is looking foul, flagrant. You could tell from a mile away that my style waving. Bitches staring in amazement like they were stargazing. Your broad return with a sword jaw, cigar fragrance. I played the cards I was dealt, the faces is all aces. The irony of a fallen angel is God's favorite. Yeah.